Here are some ideas that are cost-effective and creative without losing the fun. Revisit the spots that shaped your history and your story. First date, first kiss, first restaurant.
Turn off the lights, put away the phones, make takeout feel like you are just the two of you together in darkness with the candlelight.
It doesn't matter what kind of dancing you do, but just slow and intimate. Choose one song at least each that captures how you feel about your relationship right now.
We buy a ton of burritos
and water bottles, and we hand them out to homeless people. This is so meaningful to us. Once we've been married for a little while, we don't kiss each other as much anymore. And so a fun idea for this is to create symbolic kisses.
The symbolic kiss? What does that mean? Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're excited to see you. Scott and Heidi Hastings, Marriage IQ, and the Hastings Institute for Advanced Marital Studies. And we are in part 2 of our wonderful date night episode, sharing great date night ideas.
And this one is our ultimate Marriage IQ date idea collection that we put together just for you, our listeners.
That's right. We want to remind you all that we do have a giveaway.
Yeah.
We are giving away a $100 gift card to 5 different people to enjoy their date night with their honey.
Yep.
Could
On
be
us.
to a restaurant, a concert,
event.
whatever it is, $100 from the Hastings, because we love you so much that we're wanting to give you stuff.
We want you to go on dates. All you have to do to enter is subscribe on marriageiq.com under the weekly tips tab for getting our weekly email. They just take a minute every week to read through, and then they have an action tip for you to do with your spouse so you can create a scintillating marriage.
So it takes you like 2 minutes. Go to our website, marriageiq.com, click to subscribe, add your email, and you're done.
Yep, that's it.
Get your spouse to do it too, so it doubles your chances. The contest ends on November 18th, and the winners will be announced by November 28th.
Okay, sounds good. All right, today we are building upon our last episode about date nights, and we are giving you some in the categories surrounding the seasons to make it really easy for you to pick some. Because if we tell you things to do and it's cold and we've told you blow bubbles, go to the beach, whatever, that's not going to work for you. So this is where you go as a resource. We'll make a PDF to go with this of fun ideas in lots of different categories. Seasons, when you don't have a lot of money, and when you're feeling disconnected from each other. So here we go. Let's dive right in. And all of these tap into our 4 cornerstones of identity, intentionality, insight, and intimacy as the basis. So our first topic is everyday adventures, which are low cost and creative.
I like that.
So when you're wanting connection without spending a lot of money, but you still want it to feel special, this is where you can go. We know what it's like to live on a tight budget. We did it for many years, but we always made weekly date nights part of our budget. Here are some ideas that are cost-effective and creative without losing the fun. First of all, an idea for an identity-based date is a how we met scavenger hunt. Revisit the spots that shaped your history and your story. First date, first kiss, first restaurant, any event that you connected with, it doesn't matter, but go on a kind of a treasure hunt, but like a memory hunt. You are visiting, revisiting, even if it's not in the same city, some of the parts of your story that were really instrumental in connecting you to.
Well, and you could probably schedule a time to visit that city, right?
Yeah.
And when you're there,
do
that date.
Yeah.
Everything that you did when you were first together.
Yep. And at each stop, share one thing about being there that you'd forgotten. And that helps you remember and connect more deeply with each other.
I like that. Okay. This one's called the Favorites Exchange. Each person chooses a favorite song, snack, and short video clip to share. They talk about why you love it so much.
Okay. So you're saying all 3 things. You share a song, you share a video clip, and what was the other one?
A snack.
A snack. Okay.
So my snacks are Cheez-Its, and it's probably going to be a video clip from Shrek somewhere.
Yep. Lots of laughs from Shrek. I think that's your favorite movie. All right. If you want something that doesn't cost a lot, that is intentional, using that cornerstone, we love the idea of a dream jar date. Each of you will write down 10 mini dreams for dates. And it could include things like weekend hikes, home projects, recipes, something that you want to do between the two of you. And then commit to draw one each week and actually do it as part of your date night.
I like it.
And that doesn't have to be every time, but if you did one of those a month, I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Another intentional date is the gratitude walk. Take a sunset walk and share 3 small things you're grateful for about your spouse this week.
We like doing that. That's
It's simple, easy, free.
Yeah. Moving on to insight in the creative and cheap category is looking at you in 10 years. Describe each other's future selves, what you think you'll be like in 10 years, and then discuss what habits or dreams could actually make that real.
So spoiler alert, you're not going to be anything like you are now in 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be some things the same, but.
So here's another idea. Swap stories with each other about some kind of a small shame that you'd experienced in your youth and practice gentle, empathetic listening. This really helps be intentional by practicing those listening skills. And it doesn't have to be a highly shameful kind of a thing. But if you are showing empathy through small things, then when the big things hit, it'll be a little bit easier to know how to navigate those.
Well, I will just say I was very skinny and scrawny, and people made fun of me because of that. And yeah, that was hard on me when I was a kid.
I'm sorry, honey.
I'm not scrawny now.
If only you could have seen then what you would be now. That had to be really hard. That sounds really tough. I can tell from the way you're saying that it weighed really heavily upon you then.
Well, it did for a while, but thank goodness I don't live my entire life as a child.
Yeah.
Or a teen.
So let's move on to intimacy. How about a do-it-yourself spa night where you
Sounds fun.
get hot towels straight out of the dryer or hot, wet face towels from the microwave. You light candles. You have massage oil and a really slow romantic playlist. And no agenda. Just
being with each other.
Being with each other and setting the best stage for having a little romance.
I like it.
Here's another idea, going the romantic route as well.
Yeah, the candlelight takeout. Turn off the lights, put away the phones, make takeout feel like you are just the two of you together in darkness with the candlelight.
Very romantic.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the cheap category. Now we're going to move to the cozy winter date ideas, where we want to set a perfect atmosphere for those cold evenings when you want warmth, when you want depth, when you want snuggling.
So we're going to start, folks, with identity on this, a book swap fireside. Each spouse chooses a book that's shaped them, like in their youth, something that they really liked.
Or that we've read recently.
And they trade and they read the intro aloud to each other. So it allows you to connect on a cold winter night in a warm, cozy living room and read the other spouse really likes. Another one is a heritage cook-off. We talked a little bit about the heritage cook-off earlier, but this is that instead of making a dish from your childhood, you make a dish from your family or culture and tell a related story.
So all of my ancestors come from Europe, and I don't think I've ever made dishes from Europe. So that would be something pretty cool to do.
Yeah.
Good idea.
That's great.
So for those cold winter days, how can we be more intentional on a date? Well, we talk a lot on Marriage IQ about setting goals, but this time we're going to make it kind of fun by setting goals by candlelight. So reflect on your year together. reflect on what you want to happen. And this will be really great in December, January, when it's getting close to the beginning of a year, and set those goals in a really romantic kind of an atmosphere.
I'll bet your goals will be better thought of.
Yeah.
You're going to be more motivated.
They'll not be this heavy, oh, we got to do it, but they'll be associated with good feelings. So, and set those intentions for the year.
So what about some other winter date ideas?
I was listening on a podcast not long ago about a woman that recommends reviewing finances with wine and candles. Again, something very similar.
So romantic.
That you're making it really a romantic atmosphere, that you're building a shared dream. Now, we don't drink. We might do it a little bit differently than that, but we could definitely do it with candles and music and having just shared a nice romantic meal together. But setting those finance goals in that atmosphere, according to her, makes all of the difference.
We used to drink the Martinellis, right?
Yep.
The fake champagne.
Yep.
We don't even do that anymore. It's just water.
Sparkling water.
Sometimes.
Flavored sparkling water.
If we're in a good mood, right?
Yeah.
So that's great.
So here's one for an insight date for those cold, wintry months. Watch a documentary together. So we watch movies together from time to time, but we don't as often watch a documentary. So this will help us use our brains and find those thought-provoking ideas, and then pause partway through the documentary to talk about what are our different opinions of what we're seeing, what we're learning.
Just what are some of our feelings going through our heads right now? Like, do we agree? Do we disagree? What's going on?
Yep. And it may stir up some feelings of emotion or whatever. Let's talk about those.
Okay.
Here's one more. Now, as most of you know from a recent episode, both of my parents died recently. And as I was going through their home, the things I think that were most valuable long-term were the letters that they'd written to each other. And so for this idea, how about write what I appreciate about you lately, letter, love note to each other, and then read it to each other, and then put it somewhere special that it'll be kept for many, many years.
So these sound like date night ideas that you're probably not going to do often. These are probably pretty special, right?
Yep.
Well, and that kind of brings up to the point that sometimes we do date nights that extend over a weekend, right? Like we'll actually travel somewhere. We'll spend the night, and we kind of fold that into our marriage retreat sometimes and make a weekend out of it.
Thanks for sharing that. So for intimacy in those winter months, how about slow dancing in the kitchen or wherever you want? We do it in the kitchen quite often. And
it helps that we take dance lessons.
Yeah.
Got to practice, right?
A lot of couples did dancing before they got married, and then it just stops after they have made those vows with each other. So
we've gone dancing every week for the last
4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yeah.
Well, unless we're traveling, but most of the time.
But it doesn't matter what kind of dancing you do, but just slow and intimate. Choose one song at least each that captures how you feel about your relationship right now. And dance barefoot. We love doing this, and it is very intimate.
Yeah, just don't step on each other's feet, right? Here's another idea, Heidi, the Stay In Challenge. You create your own 5-course evening, an appetizer, a game, a story, a cuddle, and a dessert. And you're doing it, you're planning it ahead in advance.
That's awesome.
What do you think about that?
I think that sounds great. All right. So when winter thaws out and spring comes along, we're really focused on renewal, on curiosity, on growth. And it really feels like everything is ready to have those fresh starts. So date ideas for identity are take food to a park and have a picnic. And we love doing that. We have a picnic basket. If you don't, there's some really great ones on Amazon, but spring seems to be the perfect time for that. Take a new personality test or a strengths quiz and take it with you on your picnic and discuss what surprised you about each other or how you might have changed.
During your picnic. All right. This personality quiz,
Yep.
which whenever I take it, I'm always something different. So
Yeah. Either you have
I don't know if
multiple personalities or
I
we
should
keep
not
changing.
put a whole ton of stock into that. I think they're all good to some
Depends
degree.
on the day you take the test,
Yes,
probably.
I think so.
So do you have some spring ideas?
Yeah. Before I met you, stories. Share something from your earlier years before you met
Okay.
that happened to you that maybe you haven't told yet.
Yeah. I like that idea.
So I'm trying to think of one real fast. Nope. That was not me. That was my sister.
That's funny.
She was lost in the airport. Darn it.
A lot of the stories you tell are superimposed.
My family.
Happened to somebody else.
It didn't really happen. I'll have to fact check my history.
That's funny. All right. So if we're going to be intentional during the spring.
How can you be intentional, my love, during spring?
Well, for a lot of years, we gardened together. We would plant flowers together. Do you remember all the many beautiful flower beds we had?
Lots of gardens over the
Yeah.
years. Yes.
Flower gardens, vegetable gardens. Planting something together is really symbolic. And maybe you're not going out somewhere, but you're doing something meaningful together. And it's symbolic of healing, of growth, of beauty, and a lot of fun. Those were some of our really fun dates because we were creating a vision for what we wanted it to be. When we were in the mountains of Arizona, we would have it almost like fireworks with every season, different kinds
Lots
of
of colors.
flowers coming up, and seeing the fruits of that date, which often would take a whole day. That was just really rewarding.
Yeah. What's another spring intentional date?
All right. So we love to do service together. And one of our favorite things to do started out by making sandwiches before we went and little bags of chips and taking them to homeless people. And now it's kind of morphed into we go to Taco Bell and buy just a load of burritos.
We buy a ton of burritos.
And water bottles and we hand them out to homeless people. This is so meaningful to us because we get to talk afterwards about what moments were the most impactful to us. And this reminds us that every single one of us is just one step away from becoming homeless.
From the street.
They're real people with real stories, and we look them in the eye and we ask a few of them, tell me your story. How are you here?
Yeah. We tell them our name first, and then we ask what their name is so they can share their identity with us,
Yeah.
even if it's for a brief moment of time.
So your service project may be different than this, but when we work together, it's something that helps lift someone else, helps us see other people as real people. We find that it brings us much closer together as a couple.
Yes, that is true.
All right. So for a date during the spring, we love the ideas of talking with each other about our top 5 personal values. And we've shared in the past some tests that you can do. Just Google or put in Chat GPT personal values lists and go through those with each other until you can narrow it down to your top 5 each and then share those. A lot of times you may have some overlaps of values that are common with each other, and you can also talk about what the differences are.
I think the last time I did that, I got it down to like 50. 50 values. So I'm working on getting it down to at least 10.
Well, I think we did it on a date night last year and we got it down to that many. It was pretty cool because then we see what's important to each other. For an intimacy date, a lot of times once we've been married for a little while, we don't kiss each other as much anymore. And so a fun idea for this is to create symbolic kisses.
The symbolic kiss. What does that mean?
Well, we can play around with descriptions of different types of kisses and then try them out. So like playful kisses or grateful kisses or passionate kisses or silly kisses or any kind of kiss related to an emotion that you can think of.
The silly kiss.
Those passionate kisses should be lasting more than 10 seconds. They should be back to those dating times.
Well, that sounds awesome. Well, let's move into summer.
Okay.
Why don't we?
All right.
And summer kind of is indicative of more energy, spontaneity.
Adventure. We do a
Yeah.
lot of adventure in the summers.
So with our identity, perhaps we can do an adventure swap. Each person plans one mystery activity based on your own passions, and your partner experiences your world for a day.
So that sounds pretty cool.
I don't think I should do a date on climate change.
No.
Note taken. Another date idea for summer for identity, a photo challenge. Take turns photographing what you think is beautiful about your spouse, not just their appearance, but their gestures, their habits, and special moments.
Ooh, I really like that. I noticed that you do that a lot with photography. I might try to set things up, but you want just the natural things. And so being aware
Candid, yeah.
of those candid moments, what you thought was beautiful about it, and then talking about it would be really cool.
So in a date during the summer would look like, here's an idea, a 24-hour vacation. You pick a town within 2 hours, you book one night, go completely unplugged. That's easy to do here. You can get anywhere, it seems,
2 hours.
within a couple hours from where we're at. Any kind of genre, culture, it seems to me anyway.
So if you're going totally unplugged, does that mean you have to use maps instead of GPS?
I don't know.
And does that mean
Probably,
you don't book a hotel ahead? You just start wandering?
I'd probably book a hotel ahead. That's just me. But
I think
guess
it might be fun to
you
not
could just, you're right.
see what's there.
Just see what's there. But you might also be disappointed. And then a summer idea for helping you with insight.
Okay.
Fear to freedom date. Try something slightly uncomfortable together, like a ropes course
Oh.
or open mic night,
Both of those would scare me to death.
and discuss what that vulnerability teaches you. I like that.
Both of those would be growth opportunities for me. So we might have to try that at some point.
And here's another one. It's called a journal swap, where each one writes a page about your relationship lately, and you swap and you read it in silence before we talk to each other.
That's kind of a cool idea. I like that.
Okay. So for intimacy during the summer, sometimes we go out, we take a blanket way out. It's hard to do around Dallas. It's not as easy as it was in Show Low, Arizona.
Yeah.
To look at the stars, bring some snacks and
Some music, some romantic music.
some romantic music, and just stare up at the sky.
Yeah, we'll just lay a blanket down in the middle of the road because we find dirt roads where nobody drives. And
Just us and the open road and nature,
yep, love that.
or open sky anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Another idea for developing intimacy in the summer, the skinny dip of the soul. That means you strip everything down, no phones, no agenda, just swim and laugh in the naked.
Well, it can be naked. It doesn't have to be, because it could also be about stripping down the things that are getting in the way of you being together. So they can decide
Either
which one they like.
Strip down what they do, or
Yep.
also their clothes. Yep.
Yep. Strip down those boundaries that are standing in the way of really connecting deeply.
All right, Heidi.
All right.
We're on
So
to
here's
fall.
some fall date ideas, which that's the season that we're in right now. We love this. This is really a time for
My favorite season.
grounding, connecting, preparing for slowing down with those winter months. It's a time for gratitude for each other and seeking for emotional depth. So for identity dates during the fall, we like the idea of creating a memory map. And this is kind of a twist on some of the other ideas, but that is printing a map of your city and marking spots where you live right now, where you've had shared memories. Might be an ice cream shop, a park, or a movie theater, or a restaurant. And you can also add some future memory locations, especially if you haven't had a lot of shared memories yet where you live. Look at that map and mark places that you would like to have future memory locations, and then start creating memories at each of those locations.
Our memory map is a little different, though. Our memory map is a map of the world, and it's a timeline of which decade we've lived
Yeah.
and where we've gone. And we've gone to a lot of places now.
Yeah. Another way we can celebrate identity in the fall is to choose one defining life story to share with your partner, something that's happened in your life that's made a big difference. And maybe you haven't talked about this in the past in great detail. But if you ask each other, what is one circumstance that's impacted who you are today, and then go into detail in that, that helps each other see our identity and why we are who we are.
I love that.
For intentionality, we may do a couples retreat at home or at a hotel. We've talked about those in other episodes of Marriage IQ, but read your family mission statement together or your family proclamation together. If you don't have one, maybe create one together. Just jot a few notes. For us, it took several attempts at refining, but start somewhere. Just get a sentence or two to start. And that can help you recognize with each other, who are we?
Who are we?
What is important to us and what makes us tick as a couple and as a family?
Back to the basics.
Yeah. We also love taking autumn gratitude drives together. And if you live somewhere where your leaves turn colors, right now is the perfect time to do that in the fall.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Stopping to take pictures, to express gratitude for nature, for God, for each other, whatever you want to do. And then talk after the drive about what was most impactful along the way and what are the top 5 things that I love the most about our life right now. That's deeply connecting, deeply filled with gratitude. So for insight dates during the fall, intentionally create an opportunity to do a conflict do-over. So choose some kind of a past disagreement and rewrite it as if your best self were handling it. And we have a lot of times that we have to do do-overs. I don't know that we've acted them out, but we've talked about after the fact. Now that we know what we know, now that we've discussed what we discussed, how could that have gone differently and how can it go differently in the future? But for a date night, it might be fun to work through something that you can see through different lenses now, through more emotionally intelligent lenses, or with some of the tools that you've learned on Marriage IQ.
I'm definitely not at my best self a lot.
Neither of us are. None of us are.
All right. Fall, intimacy.
All right. So fall seems to really be a big time for fire pits. If you have one on your back porch or in your yard somewhere, it's the perfect time to sit by a bonfire, have some great music going, or play music. If you play the guitar or something, sing some songs, roast some marshmallows, and share a secret dream that you've always had, or some kind of a regret that you can look past on your life and wish that you could rewrite. Those fire pit moments for us are some of our most memorable, I would say.
Yep.
We've really loved doing that together.
It's another one.
Well, this is one that we don't do as often, but it is really fun to just in the fall when it's starting to get a little cooler outside on a Saturday morning, on a weekend morning, just stay in bed all morning. No agenda, except just touch, laughter, talk, maybe grabbing breakfast together, hopping back in bed together, and enjoying each other's company with no place to go. And we do have one more category that we want to quickly share with you. And that is when you're feeling disconnected with each other, how can you create some dating scenarios in the 4 cornerstones that help you become more connected? So I'm going to give this one to you, Scott.
So with our identity, perhaps we can do a rediscover date. Ask each other, what do you love that I've forgotten to celebrate? Then build the date around it.
Okay. That's a good question.
The mirror exercise. You sit facing each other, hold eye contact for 90 seconds. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Then describe what you see beyond appearance.
Ooh, I like that. If you were coming up with some intentional date ideas for when you're disconnected, what would you say?
A couple's vision reboot.
Okay.
So you revisit your 1, 3, 5 year goals.
Okay.
And what's changed? What excites you? What doesn't?
Okay. So you have to have already done those beforehand. So what are some ideas for having insight-based date that brings you back closer together?
How about a love autopsy?
Okay, what's that?
You discuss one rough season, what you learned, what you do differently, what still needs healing. We did a whole episode on doing an autopsy way back last
that
year.
sounds like a pretty sensitive one. What would you recommend to make sure that it feels really connecting instead of pushing apart?
Well, maybe find one that's not as hard
Okay.
and see how you do with that.
Okay. That's fair. How about intimacy? What would you suggest for an intimate date when you've felt disconnected?
How about a sensory seduction night?
Okay. Going from disconnection to seduction sounds a little bit scary, but you're saying using the senses. Okay. Tell me about that.
So you kind of focus on smell, like you get some candles out.
Okay.
Taste, so some fruit, maybe chocolate. Touch, find different textures.
Okay.
Sound, different types of music or softening sounds. And sight is like me, a soft light. And you can have a conversation, deep conversation. We call the naked conversation. It could be literal or figurative. You sit close and talk about one emotional truth that you've been avoiding. So with or without clothes, that's optional.
Okay. All right, everybody. Here's a marriage IQ challenge for you. At the end of each of your dates, close with a 4 cornerstones reflection. 4 simple questions. For identity, what part of myself showed up tonight? For intentionality, what did we choose to do differently this time? For insight, what's something new that I learned about you tonight?
I like that.
And for intimacy, when did I feel most connected to you tonight? So we will put some of these date ideas up as a PDF under freebies on marriageiq.com. And you can print them out. You can cut them into strips if you want. You can go by season, by amount of money you have, by level of connection or disconnection.
So they can print it out while they're signing up for the weekly email.
That's right. To get a free date on us.
All
Weekly
right.
tips email right there.
2 for 1 right there.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Marriage IQ today. And until next week, have an awesome week. And we'll see you on another exciting episode of
Marriage IQ.